Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we want to share with you some of the top mistakes that we make or others make in the Faroe Islands.
So we spent 2 weeks in the Faroe Islands and made some mistakes, did some things right, and we're here to share that with you. The very first mistake that a lot of people make is right when they land, and that is there's only 2 rental car counters basically there, and everyone on that plane is going to be renting a car. So being at the end of that line is really bad. So the first thing you should do is, if there's 2 of you, have one of you stay back to get the bags, one of you just go straight through and get in line for the rental car. That's gonna save you 45 minutes to an hour of waiting in line. And if you do that, and make sure you each have your own passport, although we didn't even encounter any passport control the whole time we were there, so that may not apply, but I would have my passport on me anyway, just in case.
Right.
But that's the first mistake that people make, is waiting too long for the rental car.
Definitely. And then right along with the rental car, it's very important to go ahead and get the insurance, the rental insurance for the car there. The weather is crazy. There's really no other way to explain it. We had one day where we had 40-mile-an-hour winds. So anything could be in the air and hit your car, hit your windshield. You just don't know what's going to happen. So definitely get the insurance when you're there. And when you pick up, so they have a very interesting system, the car rental companies. So when you rent the car, the cars are not near where you pick them up. So you have to walk out to the back part of the airport parking lot and you pick up the car, and the lady tells you, take pictures, before you leave. So you don't think anything of that, right? So you take or don't take pictures. Take the car. When you return the car, you park it in that same parking lot and just drop your keys into a box. So you never encounter a person who's kind of checking you out. So a huge mistake you can make, and we had an issue with this, which helped us out actually, is we didn't take pictures before, but thankfully we did take pictures after when we dropped the car off. And we did get an email from them saying that there was damage on the car after they inspected it, after we had already left the island. And so we had those pictures, and we were able to send those pictures to them with the timestamp, the date and timestamp on them of when we took them. And they reviewed it and saw, hey, you're right, there is no damage in that spot. So definitely take the time, right, to do that, because that's going to save you. That was going to save us. We had the insurance, so it was going to be thousands, but it was going to be hundreds of dollars that
It was going to be
charged.
It was going to be $700 even with the insurance.
With the insurance. So that was a huge thing. I'm so glad we got the insurance. Didn't end up having to use it, but I'm so glad that we took the pictures afterwards.
Next thing is, if you can't drive a manual very well, book an automatic well in advance. There's only a few of them and they run out, and it is not the easiest place to drive a manual. If you're doing this whole hey, I drove one 10 years ago, I can probably do it, not going to be a fun time. That's what we did, and we had several near misses.
Backing up into people.
There's a lot of hills and a lot of bad weather. And
yes.
It's just
that's not a good combination when it's been a while. It had been 20 years since I had driven one. So, on the slippery hills when it's pouring down rain and somebody's in their really expensive car right behind you, and you start rolling back and you can't get your car to move forward fast enough. Definitely either really practice at home before you come to Faroe Islands, or we booked in advance, and even then we couldn't get an automatic. And I asked when I got to the counter as well, do you have an automatic? And she looked and she said, no, I'm sorry, they're all already booked. So you really almost have no choice. So just prepare yourself mentally for the stress of doing that, because it was actually very stressful for me. I don't know about anybody else, but for me, it was very stressful because I wasn't used to driving a stick shift manual. So
we also got our first ticket in the Faroe Islands, and that was not for her driving. It was because we parked wrong. They have a very odd parking system where basically each car has a little clock in the front windshield, and when you park, you have to set that clock to the time that you parked. And so then if you're in a 2-hour lot, if that clock shows you've been there more than 2 hours, they'll give you a ticket. Well, we didn't know what the clock was for, and no one had told us. So first day there, we didn't set the clock. Sure enough, came back, had a ticket. It wasn't the most expensive ticket, but if you're racking those up all over town and not sure what you're doing, it's going to get pretty annoying pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Because then we had to go walk down to the police station, which wasn't far, and pay the ticket, which I think was about $30.
Yes, it was 26 or 28. Yeah, just under $30. But what was interesting was I got to the police station, and the lady at the counter was very nice. And so I explained to her and said, you know, I didn't know what the timer was for, because we found out, we told our Airbnb host, hey, we got a ticket. What's, you know, I thought you told us we could park here. Well, it just turned out that we didn't know about the clock thing. But I told the girl at the police station, hey, our Airbnb host said something about the clock, but I didn't know about it before. Kind of in hopes that she would say, okay, you don't have to pay it. That didn't happen. But still, but I tried, right? But anyways, she was very polite and really nice. And she said, gosh, I wish the rental car companies would tell people that. She said, everybody who comes has the same problem. She said, they come and they park in the lots and they think that they're doing the right thing, which we did think we were doing the right thing. And then they end up getting these tickets. She says, I wish people would tell them. So we're telling you, there's different parking areas in the different cities. So you'll see like 8 timer, 2 timer, whatever the time limit is for that lot. And then a lot of lots will switch in the evening at a certain time. They'll become like from 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock till the next morning. Then it's free overnight parking, which is great, which is what happened to us. We parked in an 8-hour parking lot, and it was late in the day, so we thought, oh, that's no problem. We can be here for those 8 hours, and then we'll get free overnight. We'll come and move it in the morning. When we came to move it the next day, we already had the ticket because our little timer was not set, right?
So another one is, if you are wanting to drink alcohol on the island, get it at the duty free in the airport. We've never shopped at a duty free shop in the airport because it always kind of seemed like a ripoff. But in the Faroe Islands, they told us you cannot get alcohol above 2%, was it?
In the grocery stores.
In the grocery stores.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a monopoly
from one company.
One company that has all the other stores. And there aren't very many of them, and they're can be hard to find, and they're expensive. So if you do want to drink alcohol, go ahead and get it at the duty free before you leave the airport.
And I noticed that when we got there, and also when we were leaving, I saw people arriving, and they went straight. I mean, like the little carts to put the stuff in are sitting right there. They pick them up and they start putting it. I was like, wow, that's like crazy. But it makes sense to me now. That's why, because they're smart. They already knew that you have to get it beforehand. So yeah, that's important.
Yeah, the weather is super unpredictable. So you really never know what's going to happen from day to day. And so one mistake people can make is by planning out your entire, if you're there 7 days, saying, we're going to do this, 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 and this on this day, you may not be doing anything on certain days. So the best thing to do is to plan out the things you want to do and look at the weather and say, all right, this is a good day to do this because on this side of the island it looks like it's going to be clear, whereas on this side of the island it looks like it's going to be 50-mile-an-hour winds, and that can happen and it can change just in a couple of hours. So I went out to take pictures. It looked clear. I only walked about 10 minutes away from our apartment. I came back and it was hailing. So,
it was raining sideways.
Yeah, it was a little hail chunks coming down. And the winds picked up, and that photo session got cut a little short. So.
It didn't really happen. It didn't happen.
We had to cut that out.
I think right along with that too is a lot of people don't plan in enough time. Like we said, we were there for 2 weeks. And that was a good amount of time to spend there, because if you only plan a week or 10 9 days, whatever, or less than that, it's going to be really hard with the weather.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to end up in just the pouring rain.
If you want perfect weather for your hikes, half your days there will probably just be a wash, where you're just not going to really be able to do too much. We hiked. We didn't feel, because we were there so long, we didn't want to hike in bad weather. So we hiked when there was blue sun and nice days and not that much wind, and it was great. Hiking some of those in terrible weather might have been miserable and tough. So you have more days, you have more choice, and you can do stuff. And
Yep. Yeah.
Going on with the hikes is, one of the things that's happened in the Faroe Islands is all the land is basically privately owned. It's not like there's national parks or anything. So the people that own the land that have the most beautiful things on them, they've started instituting hiking fees. Even though they've been open hikes for years and years and years for locals, now that there's a lot of tourists, they're imposing hiking fees. And these fees can be up to $30 a person to hike some of this stuff. Well, we saw a lot of people that were not doing the hikes because of these fees, and in our mind that was crazy, because you've gone all this way, you spent all this money, thousands of dollars, spend the $30 to go do this hike because it's one of the most amazing things you'll see, and it'd be foolish to miss out on something just because that last little bit kind of got you upset or got you offended. So just know ahead of time that some of these hikes will require a fee, and if you kind of know that going in, you're not going to be that upset about it when you get there and not want to turn around in anger and not do the hike.
And I think it's important for people to understand too, like you said, it's on private property and they actually upkeep the trails. So they're not just pocketing the money. I mean, we did one of the hikes that we did, they even have like a little hut where you can go to the bathroom. They provide you with a warm beverage, and they do a lot of work, and you can tell they do a lot of hard work on the trails. They had closed one trail because they were working on it, and they make sure that it's safe for people to walk on. So it's really not bad when you think about it. Like you said, you've gone all that way, spent thousands of dollars. $30 or so is not really out of the question for that, and you're helping the people of the island as well. So that's great.
So those are our tips for the biggest mistakes you can make on the Faroe Islands. Hope that was helpful to you. If you're visiting, let us know when you're going to go there, and give us a like on this video, subscribe. We got a lot more videos on the islands on the channel, and we will see you next time.